I used to think my problem was a lack of motivation. You know, that feeling. The alarm goes off, and you just stare at the ceiling, thinking about the sheer pointlessness of it all. Getting out of bed feels like this huge, impossible task. Not because you're tired, but because staying a horizontal lump of flesh seems so much better. I'd tell myself, today's the day. Today, I'll be productive. I'll finally organize that drawer full of random cables and existential dread. I'll learn Mandarin. I'll write that novel. And then, I'd spend the next 8 hours watching videos of people pressure washing dirty patios, mesmerized by the satisfying removal of years of grime. A metaphor for my own life I was too lazy to unpack. My friends, bless their well-meaning, kill smoothie drinking hearts, would offer advice. Have you tried making a to-do list? They'd ask, their eyes shining with the unholy light of someone who actually completes their to-do lists. Yes, Brenda, I've tried. I have lists of lists. I have spreadsheets color-coded by urgency and post-it notes that have lost their stickiness and now just form a sad, papery carpet around my desk. The problem isn't the list, Brenda. The problem is the soul-crushing inertia that hits when I look at item 1, exist. I thought maybe it was my diet, too much gluten, not enough chia seeds. I went through a phase where I ate only beige-colored foods, convinced that a vibrant diet was overstimulating my apathy. Then I tried the opposite, eating only things that looked like they belonged in a unicorn's fever dream. My insides were a Jackson Pollock painting, but my motivation levels stayed stubbornly at 0. I even tried those motivational podcasts, hosted by guys named Chad who scream at you about crushing your goals and monetizing your passion. After 10 minutes of Chad yelling about hustle culture, my only passion was to find Chad and gently place a pillow over his face until the hustle stopped. So, I decided to go deeper. Therapy. I sat on a comfortable, yet prohibitively expensive, couch and explained my situation. I just can't seem to do anything, I told Dr. Albright, a woman with a reassuringly calm voice and a collection of suspiciously Freudian-looking statues. I have ambition, I have ideas, but when it comes to execution, I might as well be a decorative houseplant. She nodded thoughtfully, scribbling on her notepad. 4 weeks, we explored my childhood. We talked about my relationship with my parents, my fear of failure, my fear of success, my fear that the pigeons in the park were judging my life choices. We unearthed a traumatic memory involving a spelling bee and the word chrysanthemum. It was all very enlightening. I now understood why I have a subconscious aversion to flowers with too many syllables. But did it help me get out of bed? Not really. Then came the new theory. It was my environment, my apartment, my city. My whole existence was simply not conducive to productivity. I needed a change of scenery. So, I did what any rational person in a quarter-life crisis would do. I sold most of my stuff, packed a single suitcase with 7 identical gray t-shirts, and a copy of The Myth of Sisyphus, and boot one-way ticket to a remote, windswept island in the North Atlantic. An island with more sheep than people. An island where the internet was a distant rumor and the main social event was watching the tide come in. This, I thought, this was the answer. No distractions. No social obligations. Just me, the unforgiving sea, and my boundless potential, finally unleashed. The first week was bliss. I woke up with the sun, which, in the North Atlantic winter, was around 11 in the morning. I'd go for long, dramatic walks along the cliffs, the wind whipping my hair as I pondered the great mysteries of life. I felt like the protagonist in a moody, independent film. I was artistic. I was deep. I was also incredibly cold, but I was sure, any day now, the motivation would strike. The novel would pour out of me. The brilliant business idea would crystallize. The sheep seemed to believe in me. They would stare with their blank, rectangular pupilled eyes, as if to say, "Go on, human. Fulfill your destiny, or at least figure out how to open that gate." But the motivation never came. The novel remained a blank document, titled Untitled. The business idea was still just a vague notion involving our hand-forged paper clips. Instead of becoming a creative powerhouse, I became exceptionally good at staring at fog. I learned to distinguish between the morning fog the afternoon fog, and the slightly more ominous evening fog. My biggest accomplishment was teaching a seagull to steal biscuits from my neighbor, a grizzled fisherman named Seamus, who communicated exclusively through grunts. My problem, it turned out, was portable. I had packed it right there in my suitcase, nestled between the gray t-shirts and the existential dread. Defeated, I returned to civilization. I moved back into a city that smelled faintly of hot garbage and shattered dreams. I got my old job back, a job I neither loved nor hated, a job that paid for my rent and my growing collection of beige-colored foods. I accepted my fate as a person who would probably never pressure wash their own patio, metaphorically or otherwise, and that's when it happened. I was at the grocery store, standing in the cereal aisle, paralyzed by the sheer number of choices. Should I get the one with the cartoon rabbit, or the one that promises to improve my gut health? It was the ultimate, low-stakes decision, and I was failing it. And then, a voice, a calm, deep, slightly bored voice that seemed to come from inside my own head, but wasn't mine. It said, "Get the one with the marshmallows." "You know, you want to." I froze. I looked around. No one was there. "Who said that?" I thought. The voice replied, "I did. Now, pick up the box. The manager is starting to look at you funny." I grabbed the cereal and moved to the dairy section, my heart pounding. What is happening? I thought. The voice sighed, a sound like gravel being slowly stirred. "Look," it said. "I've been trying to let you figure this out on your own. The lists, the therapy, the island of emotionally supportive sheep. It has been exhausting to watch. The problem is not your motivation. The problem is that I'm the one driving." My blood ran cold. Driving what? I thought, picturing some sort of bizarre, metaphysical clown car. "This," the voice said, with an air of profound weariness. "This whole metan-bone vehicle you call a body. You are not the driver. You have never been the driver. You're the passenger. I'm the driver. And frankly, I'm not very ambitious. I enjoy fog. I like watching pressure washing videos. My main goal in life is to achieve a state of maximum comfort with minimum effort. Your constant striving for self-improvement is really harshing my vibe." I stumbled out of the store, my mind reeling my entire life, my failures, my inertia, my inability to spell chrysanthemum under pressure. It wasn't me. It was him. It was this lazy, unmotivated entity who had been at the controls the whole time, treating my body like a rental car he wasn't planning on refueling. "So what? You're just gonna sit there and do nothing for the rest of our life?" I mentally screamed at him. There was a long pause. I could almost hear him shifting comfortably in the driver's seat of my consciousness. "Pretty much," the voice said. "Although, I've been thinking that artisanal paperclip idea. It's not terrible. We could probably just watch a few videos on how to do it. Maybe tomorrow. Or the day after. Let's not rush things." And you know what? It was the most liberating moment of my life. The problem wasn't what I thought it was. The problem was that I wasn't the problem. I was just along for the ride. And the driver is a lazy slob with a penchant for sugary cereal and a deep appreciation for the art of doing absolutely nothing. Suddenly, everything made sense. I'm not unmotivated. I'm just a hostage to a cosmic slap. And honestly, I'm starting to see his point. That patio isn't going to pressure wash itself, but watching someone else do it is a lot less work. So if you've ever felt like you're a passenger in your own life, maybe you are, and maybe the driver just wants to chill. It's a weirdly comforting thought, isn't it? Anyway, thanks for watching. Don't forget to share this with anyone else who might be having a co-pilot issue. Like and subscribe for more existential crises. Or don't. Whatever. It's not like I'm the one in charge.